If you've ever been wondering on this task that we're doing in our business is automatable and we can do it with n8n, but you're not just technical enough to know how to do it, well, I think that era is over. And I'm saying that because with Claude today, you can create those workflows. It will give you the JSON file. All you have to do is import it into n8n and it's done. How this works is pretty simple. Now, the work that you have to do is you still have to do something, is that you need to identify the problems and the bottlenecks of your business. And then all you have to do, you need to create the prompt. Prompt is crucial for this problem because if the problem is not good, Claude will not know how to create your workflow as detailed as possible for your needs, for your platforms that you use, so on. Having a good prompt will also let Claude generate a really good workflow for your specific problem. But I'm going to go into a specific problem here that I had it with an agency that I work with in the past. And also if you feel like you do have some problems or typical day-to-day waste time problems in your business, but you do not know where to start or identify those specific problems and create these workflows, there's a link down below. You can go on and book a one-to-one with me where we can go over your business and see if we can automate something or not. I'm not gonna say that you can't build these yourself. You can simply do that. All you need is a Claude, an LLM account. Maybe you can do this with ChatGPT as well, and n8n, and it's pretty much done. For this specific use case, we had a technology partner, and this one had multiple business models, but a specific one had a lot of deals volume. And the problem was simply the reps were not logging these deals into the CRM. They were doing that maybe monthly, or some of the deals were just completely forgotten and were not plugged into CRM. So they were having an issue. They were not able to make the reps fill those deals in HubSpot because HubSpot does have a problem with their UI. You need to go and create a deal one by one, and the reps found it easier to create those on the sheets. Sheets was not connected to CRM, and then you would have new deals coming in, but that data of the new deals wouldn't come in the CRM maybe 1-2 months late, which would cause massive data loss, massive inaccurate data, no real-time data. And the reps would just complain like, no, we won't fill those deals into HubSpot because we can't be asked to. And the company would have no visibility on the pipeline stages, especially the time spent on those. It was a massive data loss. And what we decided to do is map what the fixes would look like, creating a mother sheet. This mother sheet would contain all the data that would be needed to import that deal into HubSpot. And whenever the deal is filled in that mother sheet, it would be marked as ready from the rep to go and import automatically on the HubSpot. This way, no data is missed. The current workflow of the rep is not changed. They still use the sheet, but now doing this connection with a workflow, we can satisfy the reps and also the management that wants to see and wants to be updated on the deals. And having this 3-step protocol of identifying the issues, the fixes, and the outcome, we can generate a workflow. So how do we generate this workflow? It's pretty simple. Personally, I like to use a combination of LLMs. And for this reason, we use ChatGPT and also Claude. ChatGPT is pretty simple. And what I basically like to do when I want to create a workflow is to give an extensive prompt to give as much context as possible using the 3-step formula: the problem, the fix, and the outcome. Here's what I did. I've got a problem that I want to generate an n8n workflow for. Now I write this problem so that it can create a prompt for Claude to create this workflow for. I give it the context. So this is basically the context of the issue. And then I give it the idea of the solution, the fix that I want to implement, just like I've said here. And then I also want to say what the outcome is. ChatGPT does go on and create me a comprehensive prompt that I can give to Claude to create my workflow. Bear in mind, all I did is write plain English of my problems to build these solutions. What I like to do also is that I give this at the end of the prompt. So I said, please think through this workflow logic extensively as a professional workflow business solution creator. Then write me a comprehensive prompt to provide to Claude, as Claude will create me the workflow for n8n. When you want to build workflows, it's really crucial to give your LLM their role, because if they know what type of role creates these workflows, they will sort of have in mind of how to build this professionally. It gives the goal, it gives the context, and it gives the deliverables. And this is a complete prompt. What you want to do is really check in this prompt and see if everything misses from what you want. But if everything is good, just for the sake of this example, this is what I did with this client as well, but we are just building an MVP from scratch again, is that I copy this prompt and then all I have to do is go into Claude. So what I do is give the prompt, you can just go in and paste as this, but I already did. One thing that for this specific use case, you also have to outline which tools are going to use. For this workflow, the connection, as you saw, was Sheets and CRM. You have to give context as much as possible on these tools and environments to Claude. In this case, if you're using Sheets, you will tell Claude to build your sheet. And also, if you're using a CRM or any other tool, a key tip for you is that you can go into your account and then you can go into connectors. Let's say you want to build a workflow that's connected with CRM. Now, a good thing is that Claude does have a connection with HubSpot. What this lets Claude do is that if you connect your HubSpot CRM and you want to create a specific workflow for HubSpot, Claude will be able to get all the data from your CRM, which then it will help him build a comprehensive workflow for n8n. So everything is connected with your CRM, like the fields, the properties, the deal information, and so on is connected seamlessly. Let's say for CRM, you don't use HubSpot, we have Monday. The idea is that if you want to create a workflow for a specific environment, check if you can connect Claude to it. It will give you all the data from your CRM and connect it to the workflow. So I've connected my HubSpot in this account. So what it did give me is a documentation of how to implement this workflow and how the workflow is designed. So whenever you want to go back and check what's implemented, you can actually view it and it will give you the workflow itself. It did not give me the sheet because now we need, for this specific use case, we need a sheet that has some specific columns. What I did is also asked it to create me the Google Sheet as well. So it did. So when asking Claude to create me the sheet for this specific workflow, it created this one, which logically makes sense. The reps will need all these required fields at least to have them in place. And then we have the company name. These are required and these are optional fields. So we won't need them to import the deal in HubSpot. And these are system to zero doing that. So it created us a basic mother sheet, as we said, that we will be using for the workflow. And now we go back to Claude and download the JSON. The JSON file is basically the workflow. Once you go in n8n, all you want to do is 3 dots right here, import from file, select the JSON file you download from Claude. And what we have right here is a full-on workflow created by Claude. If we check into this workflow, all that's needed to be done is now go in and configure the connection to these parameters. So for example, if we go into the sheets, you will see that we need to first of all, connect our Google Sheets account, which I have. You go and create new credentials. You can sign in with Google and your sheet will be connected. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to the file and I have to save it as Google Sheets so I can access it back in n8n. Going here, I'm going to go just select my deal sync sheet. This is pretty nice. So I've selected now the sheet in here and I'm going to choose the deals to create list. And I'm going to just save this one, just press X, and it's pretty good. So now we configure that step. Whenever we see these triangles, it means that we have to connect our account. Let's say for this one, I think you have to connect your HubSpot account. Yes, you do. So I already do have it connected. So I'm just going to press X, the triangle gets removed. What we'll do is go into Claude now and ask, okay, so what is left for me to implement this? But it's pretty simple. And voila, now we have a full workflow built for us automatically. So now we do also have the options on how do we activate this workflow. It's saying that we need to go into HubSpot, create this single property, which is going to be an addition. Then we just connect the HubSpot credentials, which we did. We connect the credentials of HubSpot to HTTP request nodes, which we did. And we verify the Google Sheet updates, which we did. Basically, this is all we need. Now, let's say, for example, a rep goes in, fills all the details of the sheet. It will then go into HubSpot and everything will be interconnected. Now, this is just an MVP, an example of how this workflow would work. As you can see, we're just, executing the row, but it will fail because there's nothing in here as we go. Yep, so no output data returned. This complete workflow right here would have taken me days to implement and build with all the sort of filters and ideas that we created simultaneously just from LLM. What you can do now is go in a doc, write your problem, write your idea of the fix that you can do, go and prompt it into ChatGPT, then use that prompt for workflow into Claude to get a ready, done for you workflow. You can then ask it on how to start configuring and then you'll be done.